Hi everyone, this is Aveda. I'd like to thank you for tuning in to my YouTube channel, Embrace Natural Beauty, where it has been my goal to share with you simple tips and techniques that have been helpful to me in my own natural hair journey, which has been 5 years now, that have helped me to maintain my hair, to keep it in good condition and retain length, which was always my goal. Because I want all of you who are watching to better maintain your hair, to keep it in good condition and retain length if that happens to be your goal, so that you enjoy your hair and embrace natural beauty of your own. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my wash day experience and my week of wear for this wash and go that I styled using the Shea Moisture Low Porosity Protein-Free Leave-In Detangler and Wetline Xtreme Ultra Hold Gel. This was a great combination. I had a great week. Today happens to be day 7 of my wash and go using this combination, and I have to admit the definition is still there. The moisture retention is still there as well. I got really good definition in my challenging areas, my low porosity and my high porosity areas, and I have to admit it's very similar to Eco Styler. There are some subtle differences. I noticed that on day 2 of the wash and go, these curls seemed a little fluffier than the curls on day 2 for Eco Styler. But as the week wore on, I would say these curls didn't fluff up more, or I didn't get as much volume as I did, I feel, with the Eco Styler curls. And here I am on wash day. These were the curls from my wash and go using the Eco Styler gel. And so the wash day was pretty much similar. The only difference was the deep conditioner that I used. I was actually able this time to use the Shea Moisture High Porosity Moisture Seal Mask for my deep conditioning, which I had wanted to use the previous wash as well. But everything else is exactly the same if you wanted to look at the video that I did using Eco Styler. And so, as per usual, I always work on a section at a time. And with this section, it tends to be my easiest section. So I'm applying the low porosity protein-free leave-in detangler, and pretty much the same way I normally do. It went on fairly simply, but here comes the challenge, using the Wetline Xtreme. So let me show you what Wetline Xtreme looks like. It's very loose, right? Kind of jiggly. It looks like Jello. And so I wanted to show you, you can actually pour it out. So I'm pouring it into the cap, and I'm actually going to leave it in the cap and apply it from there. You can see just how, how loose and jiggly it is. And my first time I'm using it, I'm applying it from the mids down to the ends. And again, I was thinking about putting a comparison of how quickly, Eco Styler flattened out my hair in comparison to this one. It's not quite as flat, but very similar. And I was saying, looks good. Even though this is a comparison of how well this particular gel works with the Shea Moisture Low Porosity line, a number of people ask me, what does it smell like after I'm using a new gel? So I smelled it, and I'm still in my mind, as you can see, trying to figure out, well, how does it smell? How do I explain this? I don't actually smell anything that stands out. The fragrance is not very strong, and nothing that stands out immediately. It smells pleasant. It does smell pleasant. But nothing to me outstanding. But there's nothing outstanding about the fragrance. In fact, if you've smelled Eco Styler or Krystal, I would say it pretty much smells about the same. And so I let that play in real time so you can kind of get a in the moment feel of what I was going through. But now I'm moving on to show you what a difference a few minutes makes. Spread's easy enough. By this time, I have already applied to at least 4 sections in the back, and I'm just releasing them to bring them all down. And now you get an idea of what kind of experience I had off camera. I loaded a lot of products on this side of my hair, this particular section, because it was just not taking very well and very difficult to work with. So very much unlike the first section, which seemed pretty easy, and I thought it was going to be, you know, easy to apply this gel. I found out in the following 3 sections that nope, just not that easy. Going through this portion of my hair, I was seeing little stringy pieces and just saying, you know what, I really don't like this gel so much. But again, sometimes the application for me is just frustrating, but the final results make me change my mind and consider, you know, trying it again because I like the results. Anyway, so now my hair is just put up with a flexi rod so that it's not going to be so sticky being in those 4 pieces, and I can start to do the front and show you guys how well it's going on, or not so well. This is how much I know I'm going to put on. I'm going to just wipe it down a little bit, spread it around my hands, touch here, touch here, touch here, touch here. And that's how I'll get it all over the entire section. So I'm trying a different approach to get even and smooth distribution. So I placed a portion of the gel at the ends, the middle, and the root. It's not as stiff as Eco Styler. It's not tacky or sticky. It's actually smooth, but does not spread as easily as Aunt Jackie's did, or even Wonder Curl. And so I'm letting this play, so again, you can make your own determination of how similar it is to the Eco Styler if you were considering either of these 2 gels to use. I definitely like to go to town and make sure I'm raking this product through, but apparently I didn't do so great on the top, which you guys will see at the end of the video when I show you the finished results. Another thing to compare between the 2 is I'm actually going to put the ingredients in the information box below so you guys can make that determination for yourselves. But in addition to that, on the labeling for the Xtreme, the Wetline Xtreme, the things that they highlight, like it includes aloe vera and it has UV ray, you know, protection, and it doesn't contain any alcohol. My problem with the ingredients listing on the Wetline Xtreme is that it's so tiny I need a magnifying glass to read it. They have different ingredients, so again, make that comparison. So it's a toss-up between these 2. The Eco Styler obviously is stiffer and harder to apply because of how stiff it is. So a number of you have mentioned that you don't actually rake the Eco Styler through, but you tend to smooth it through. But for me, I don't smooth. That's kind of like the praying hands method, and I like to do rake and smooth or shingle, which gives you definition and more distribution of the product. So when it comes to raking and smoothing, the Wetline is much easier to do that. It's just, again, you have to be very strategic in how you place the product on your hair. And so even though it's not as stiff as Eco Styler, it still managed to cause my hair to stick together. I already knew that I was going to be trying this gel this week, and so I wanted to invite you in on the last section of hair. I'm, you know, reconditioning my, you know, way of handling gel and my hair because I do it so often that, you know, when you're using a new product, you have to work differently. It feels almost as soft as the Wonder Curl, but it when I spread it, I don't know, it gets too thick. I don't know how to explain it right now. I really have to, let me see. I'm going to put this much on. I can put this much on easily with the Wonder Curl and not get all bunched up. With this and with Eco Styler, I feel like it gets bunched up. And I have to keep working through to make sure that my hair is not stuck together. For those of you who wouldn't want to use Eco Styler because of how hard it feels when you're using it, I would definitely say this one feels not as hard. It really does not feel hard at all. It's just, it wasn't easy to spread. And see, that's another thing. When I apply it from the bottom and I go up, it gets kind of chalky-like, and I keep forgetting I can't do that with this gel. I can do that with Wonder Curl. I can start anywhere on the hair, you know, any position. And I sometimes like to start on the bottom, as you guys can see. But I have to, it looks like I have to start on the top with this gel and then come down. Yeah, this gel, for those of you who haven't used it yet, there's a lady on here, Delicia, who uses it quite regularly. It likes to be put on from the top down. You can't mix it up, can't have fun like that. And another lady on here said you can also spray some water on it just to get it to be more pliable. I really want to incorporate the Shea Moisture Low Porosity Leave-In Protein-Free Detangler as a option for wash and go. And because I actually love it with my twist outs, or with my twist, I like the way it actually works as a moisturizer for low porosity hair, and I have low porosity hair. And so I want to see if I can get a good combination for my wash and go, and then also you guys get to see and have something to consider for those of you who have low porosity hair. I'm also going to be trying out, more high porosity options as they become available. I did try a little bit of the Shea Moisture High Porosity line, and that was a fail when it came to the wash and go, so I'm going to try some different combinations using those products as well. I have mostly low porosity and normal porosity sections of hair on my head, but I also have high porosity. So whenever you have high or low porosity, they're going to give you a challenge with moisture retention. So finding products and combinations of how you can utilize products to wear to style your wash and go or your other styles, twist outs, braid outs, and so forth, just so you can have options for your hair is something that I want to do. And so I've always had good moisture retention. I'm trying to get better moisture retention in the low porosity and high porosity sections of hair. And for those of you who follow me who also struggle with those areas, then you can see how it's working for me and make decisions for your consideration as well. So that's why I'm doing this.
Okay, so normally this step of the process is considered the takedown, but because the wet line Xtreme, similar to the Echo Styler, my hair would get bunchy if I left it nicely twisted up or cut the hair clumped together. I let it hang more so. And now the front is obviously longer because it's freshly applied. And now I'm looking at the back to get it well blended. I can see the low porosity section looks barely like I have any product on it, which is not unusual. So I am going to reapply product to get better curl definition there. I'm applying just simple H2O, that's just water. And I'm going to apply a generous amount of the moisturizer as well. Yeah, I kind of slapped that on, I know. And running that through only to that portion. I'm going to do the same with the gel, applying a generous amount. And now whatever goes up must come down. Whatever is applied at the top needs to come all the way down for it to be well defined and not look all bunchy. So as I try to pull it through, I'm recognizing or acknowledging that it's a little tangled. So I'm going to stop where I was at and go back down toward the bottom so I can better blend everything. And that worked well. So I can put everything together nicely, tuck those pieces, and it will blend and dry very well. Now, because I've been doing my hair later in the evenings, I've been diffusing using both my hooded dryer, followed up by the Diva diffuser. Now, by this time, my hair is fully dried, and I want you to see my hair in this setting because I do get more detail using this camera. But bear with me, I'm still working on the lighting situation. It's not ideal, but at least you can see some definition.
Very good. Very good touchable curls. Wet line.
Now bear with me, from this setup the lighting was actually pointing upwards and it looks a little spooky.
What I'll say about these curls is that it's much fuller over here. It's like it feels like I missed some application, which is weird because I know I took my time and I recorded it at the same time on Periscope, what I did.
Now, has that ever happened to any of you where you apply the product, you applied it fully to the hair, but the outcome, it's like you have some areas that are fluffy? That's what I'm examining here in this portion of the video. I wanted you guys to see, I know a number of you had noted on my Instagram that the top of my hair looked a little puffy, and I recognized that too. I think I may have applied a little bit more product later on in the week. Actually, at this stage, I don't remember, but yeah, I did experience some areas where it felt like it didn't really cover, and that's what I'm showing you here.
But what's funny is that, even though it's got that portions of hair that's missing, I actually like this better than the Echo Styler.
So there you have it. By the end of wash day, I was really feeling the Wetline Xtreme over Echo Styler. And here's my 7-day results. I'm looking at the whole thing. The lighting throws it off a little bit. The lighting was fine. It's just my head was too close to the light. So when I step back away, you see how dark my hair is? That's how my hair looked all over. And the high porosity areas were very well defined. So Wetline did a great job the entire week. I actually prefer it to the Echo Styler.
Love my girls.
I look forward to hearing about your progress with these products, and we'll be sharing my experience both here on YouTube and on Periscope, so please stay connected with me. You can chat with me live on Periscope on Sunday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can participate by downloading the app on your smartphone for Periscope. I look forward to chatting with you. Thank you so much for watching.